Hey everybody, it's Aaron,
I'm Sarah.
and this is 31 Nights of Scary Shit. I'm sorry, I'll stop. Are we ready?
Yes, we are ready.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening. Again, I don't know if I'm trying to be Alfred Hitchcock there or vampires. I don't know.
Vampires.
Just
vampires.
Various vampires.
Various vampires.
Either way, I don't think it landed the way I wanted it to. So I'm gonna start off with a bit of leading up, a bit of suspense.
Ooh.
Yeah, I don't know.
Spooky.
I feel like being in a storytelling mode. So on the morning of August 4th, 1892, there was a grisly scene at 92 2nd Street in Fall River, Massachusetts.
Ooh.
If you don't recognize that address, of course you don't. Why would you? 69-year-old Andrew Borden and his 64-year-old wife Abby were discovered to have been brutally murdered in their home. It appeared the couple had sustained fatal blows from a hatchet-like object. A few days later, the town is shocked when 32-year-old Lizzie Borden, Andrew's daughter, is accused of the crime.
Ooh.
What motive did Lizzie have for these shocking crimes, do you ask? That has been up for debate for over a century. Dun dun dun.
Dun dun dun!
Yes, I also want to mention how I connect myself to this story. It's not really connected to the story, but remember how I was saying in other episodes how something connected to either my date of birth or your birth?
Oh god, what the heck did you do?
Well, no. So the year of my birth, in that same year, Elizabeth Montgomery, who was the star of Bewitched, if you've ever seen that show,
yes,
she played Samantha. She played Lizzie Borden in a made-for-TV movie in 1975.
Spooky.
The year I was born. So there's my little connection. And this has nothing to do with it, but August 4th is also Barack Obama's birthday. And my best friend Kathy's birthday. So shout out.
Kathy!
Holla! Shout out.
Happy belated!
Yeah. Kathy, if you're listening, I don't think you are, but anyways, I'm thinking of you. So anyway, here's some background. First of all, Lizzie was born on July 19th, 1860 in Fall River, Massachusetts. So her father, Andrew Borden, was very wealthy. He was one of the wealthiest people in town at the time of...
Moneybags.
Yeah, he was moneybags at the time of his murder. His first wife, Sarah, Lizzie's mom, passed away when
you mean me?
Yes. There's so many Sarahs.
It's a popular name.
It really is. Like in all these...
too popular.
It almost is a bit too popular. But anyway, her mother died when she was little, a small girl, and Andrew married Abby Durfee Gray.
What a name.
Yeah, it is a name. I don't know why she had so many names. But anyway.
I feel like people back then kept all of the names.
I know.
Like, as the family went on, they just kept adding the names.
More names.
Which, like, I kind of like, because, like, from a family tree perspective, really easy to figure it out.
Yeah.
But then it gets lengthy.
Yeah. Yeah. But anyways, she had way too many names, in my opinion. But anyways, Andrew was a wealthy guy. And despite his great wealth, he was very frugal. And by frugal,
they always are.
And by frugal, I mean that's a kind word, I think, for saying cheap is what I think Lizzie thought of her father, because the home didn't have indoor plumbing on the ground floor and the first floor. Lizzie was also really pissed that Andrew chose to live in a home that was closer to all of his businesses rather than living in the fashionable area called The Hill.
So she sounds like a brat.
I think she felt that she was living beneath her station in life, absolutely. But Andrew was very practical, and he said, you know what? Grown adult child.
Get your shit together.
You can move out, you know. Lizzie was 30.
What a thought.
Lizzie was 32 at the time of Andrew and Abby's murders, and her older sister Emma is like 9 years older than her. So, you know what, girls, you could have moved out. Whatever. Instead of complaining.
Hit the road.
Yeah, instead of complaining about it. But Andrew had his hand in quite a few things. So he was president of the Union Savings Bank. He was also director of the Durfee Safe Deposit and Trust Company. He was a successful real estate developer. So his estimated worth at the time of his death was $300,000, which by today's standards would be over $8 million.
Sweet.
So wow, right? He had lots of dough.
Andrew Jackson Moneybags
Yes,
Borden.
great name though, right? Andrew Jackson Borden. Anyway, Andrew Jackson Borden was not very likable. Apparently, he was a pretty disagreeable man, and his family would readily admit to it. Abby, on the other hand, was described as being kind of shy. Um, Lizzie, and as I said, she had an older sister, Emma. They were raised in, I guess, what you would call a religious upbringing. Lizzie was very active in her church. She was a member of the Central Congregational Church, and she did at a time teach Sunday school. She also was a member of other organizations, the Christian Endeavor Society, the Women's Christian Temperance
Oh, you
Unit.
mean to tell me a Christian committed murders? Oh, what a thought.
Yes, I know. Well, we'll talk about that. And this is our favorite, the Ladies Fruit and Flowers Mission.
I just want to know what it's about.
I'm gonna have to look into that further. I did not look into that further, but yeah, like what is that? Fruit and flowers. I don't know. Anyway, so supposedly the relationship between Lizzie, Emma, Andrew, and Abby at times could be tense, in particular with Lizzie and Abby. Um, Lizzie referred to Abby as Mrs. Borden. She was very quick to correct people if they referred to Abby as her mother. So in 1892, supposedly there was some feuding going on, and both Emma and Lizzie at some point took what was called extended vacations. They weren't getting along with Andrew, and there was a pigeon incident. You ask, what is the pigeon incident? Well, here's what it was. Andrew apparently murdered some pigeons that Lizzie was raising in the barn.
What the hell?
I know. Lizzie was super.
I thought it was going to be just like a situation where there was like a pigeon in the house or something, but no.
No, it was a pigeon murder.
Pigeon murders.
A murdering of pigeons.
Andrew Jackson Borden, you pigeon murderer.
Yeah, and he murdered them with a hatchet.
Oh.
And Lizzie was real. I guess Lizzie.
That seems excessive.
I know. Lizzie, I guess, was really upset about this, and it must be so because this is something I found in multiple sources that she was really pissed about this.
I mean, who wouldn't be upset if someone hatcheted your damn pigeons? It seems unnecessary.
It did seem unnecessary. His reasoning was that it was attracting intruders, and by intruders he meant like neighborhood boys were like coming in and messing with the pigeons. And him being a not very personable man, I think he just didn't want anybody hanging around.
That's just sounds stupid.
Or maybe he was just trying to piss Lizzie off. I don't know. I have my own
stupid.
I have my own theory. Yeah, I have my own sort of theory that maybe Andrew and Lizzie tried to instigate each other or something. I don't know. That's just how I feel. I sense that kind of energy between the two of them.
You sense it.
I sense it. Well, anyways, furthermore, there were some bad feelings about Andrew purchasing a house for some of Abby's family members. Lizzie and Emma did not care for this at all. They demanded then that their father give them a rental property, and he did.
Okay, so therein lies a problem, Andrew. Maybe your children wouldn't be so dependent on you if you didn't give them a rental property when they asked for it.
Yeah. Well, they sold it back to him anyway for the cash. So I think maybe they were just trying to make a point, like, how dare you give them a house? We want something.
That's insane.
So it does sound. You and I both kind of know a bit about what happens in a broken home, a divorced family.
Oh yes.
That there can be hard feelings if there are, siblings or other.
Yeah, I get that, but still.
Yeah, I think it's
still.
Well, no, I know neither one of us is gonna.
I would not go to my parents and go, you know what I really need for you to fix this problem? A damn rental property.
Yeah, and I don't think either one of us is gonna get a hatchet and.
I mean, no, I'm just kidding.
Off anybody either. Well, we haven't done it so far, so I don't think it's going to happen. Not yet. No, not yet. Hey, if we
understand how to hide a body.
Yeah.
But we're not saying we are going to hide a body.
We better be careful, because when some people do start listening to this, then,
they'll know that we're reading shit on the internet and then saying it back into a microphone. Because that's all I ever do.
All right.
They'll know that I like spooky shit and understand that anyone could learn how to hide a body effectively on the internet.
That is true. That is definitely true. Anyways, I will get back into my narrative. So, some interesting things about right before the murder. Lizzie's uncle, who I believe was her deceased mother Sarah's brother, his name was John Morse, he made a visit. He stayed overnight. So, the night of August 3rd, John Morse was a guest in the home.
So was he a suspect?
I don't think he was.
That's some bullshit.
I don't think he was. And he left conveniently after breakfast on August 4th. So,
oh, yeah, real effing convenient.
but
dude.
anyways, supposedly Andrew might have been talking to John about some kind of property transfer as well. So I don't know if Andrew was trying to also set John up with some property. I don't know. Maybe Lizzie was irritated by that too. And then also a few days before the murder, Abby, Andrew, and also the maid, Bridget Sullivan, became violently ill. They attributed it to bad food, but Abby did seek medical treatment, and she did say she thought it was a possible poisoning. Dun dun dun. She didn't say who she thought it would be. It was just one of those, I don't know, maybe somebody's trying to poison us, and we know that Andrew wasn't really very well liked, so that might not have been a far-fetched thing to think.
That seems reasonable.
It sounds like really people did not like Andrew at all. So anyway, I think it was probably food poisoning.
It was definitely the pigeons.
Or the pigeon. It was those vengeful pigeon ghosts.
Those damn vengeful pigeon ghosts.
Yes. Anyway, so the morning of the Merediths, on the morning of August 4th, Andrew did errands that he would typically do. So he went into town. He went to the bank. He went to the post office. People did see him, so they confirmed it. And I guess he got home around 10:45 a.m. So Bridget Sullivan had been outside cleaning the outdoor windows on a day that I guess was hot as all get out. It was terribly hot that day. And she didn't feel well from the heat. And also, she was still kind of recovering from that stomach issue that she had. So she was lying down in her room, which was on the third floor. And Abby's bedroom, I believe, is on the second floor. So Bridget's on the third floor. And around 11:10 a.m., these are the exact words that Bridget hears. Lizzie calls out, apparently from downstairs, "Maggie, come quick. Father's dead. Somebody came in and killed him." Does anything sound odd to you there?
Very specific, Lizzie. What exactly, precisely you believe happened? Why would you say that? Yeah. Why would you go, of course, it had to have been somebody else that broke inside and then killed him?
I also want to mention...
Too specific.
Yeah, I also want to mention that Bridget let Andrew in the door at 10:45 because she had locked like an inside screen door. So Bridget / Maggie, by the way.
Yeah.
Did you wonder why she said Maggie? Did you think it was a new person? No. Maggie was the old housekeeper.
And they just called
So
Bridget
that's some
Maggie.
shit. Like, I can't be bothered to remember your name, housekeeper, so I'm just going to call you Maggie.
I can only remember one name.
Yeah. I had a friend of a friend one time who used to call me Brenda.
Oh, Brenda.
And I'd be like, "No, it's Aaron." He'd go, "Whatever."
I'm definitely going to continue to call you Brenda.
At least he consistently called me by the same name. Like, he equated me with Brenda, but he didn't care when I corrected him. He was like, "Whatever." So anyways.
I understand.
Kind of rude. So anyways, Lizzie calls out to Bridget, a.k.a. Maggie, and one officer comes to the scene because on that day, it's the annual police picnic. So all the police are having fun at the picnic. Convenient, huh?
Yeah.
They're all away frolicking at the picnic. So one officer arrives. He comes in. He assesses the situation. He knows that Andrew has been found murdered, right? But at this point, nobody knows yet about Abby, okay, which is interesting. So Lizzie's not checking on Abby. Nobody seems to know about Abby. So it's only Andrew at this point. And also a neighbor, Adelaide Churchill, who sees that something's going on, comes in to, do whatever, aid Lizzie in whatever way she can. So what I want to say is the crime scene gets contaminated because one police officer comes in. He doesn't secure the scene. He puts nobody in charge. He leaves, and I think various people at that point just kind of come into the house. So any clues, that would have been needed to be, discovered in a timely manner are lost. So there's that. Crime scene contamination, not a good thing, and I think that works in Lizzie's favor. Anyway, interestingly, when the police do return, they do a search for a possible intruder.
When they return. That's the phrase that I want everyone to focus on right now.
Right.
The police were there Then they left.
Then they left. Well, it was
And
they. It
then
was a
they
one. It was a one police officer who leaves.
came back.
I mean, granted, he didn't have a cell phone or a walkie to call for backup, but I mean, at any rate, a police officer comes in, sees a brutal murder, and then leaves, and now there's other people coming into the home. So right there, who knows? It's chaotic.
It just immediately makes me feel like it's a cover-up.
Well, anyways, so Adelaide, the neighbor, actually discovers Abby's body on the second floor.
That just shouldn't happen.
It shouldn't have happened, no. And when the police find Abby's body, they discover Abby's body is pretty cold. So they think that Abby was probably killed about 90 minutes before Andrew. So if that's true, where the hell is this person hiding out, right?
Yeah.
So somebody kills Abby, what do? Do they just like find somewhere to hang out in the house until they kill
That's
Andrew?
so weird.
Are they lying in wait? I mean, where do they go? So that's
especially when there are multiple people in the house.
Yeah, so that's one of the, and I don't know how big the house is. Obviously, I've never been inside the house.
I did listen to this other podcast about Lizzie Borden. And they did talk about how the configuration of the house really doesn't make sense. Like, you have to walk through bedrooms to get to other bedrooms. And, like, it's a very bizarrely shaped house. So I could see where you could hide, but not when there's multiple people moving around the house at the same time. Like, that just seems unlikely for that long. Like, 90 minutes?
Yeah, so that's always been a big point of contention there. Of if it's no one who actually lived in the house, where's this intruder hanging out for that amount of time? Because I don't know that would really be possible. But anyway, so like I said, the neighbor finds Abby's body. Now, when we talk about Andrew, it's described that his face was unrecognizable. So the first person I think that tries to identify him was pretty much like, if I didn't know this was Andrew, this is how brutal it was. His face was described as sickening. That a 6x4 wound was over his temple, and it appeared to be made by an axe.
6x4?
I'm assuming that's inches, or I don't know. It can't be centimeters, millimeters. I don't know.
It has to be inches.
Anyways,
this is America. We measure in the most pointless measurement system in the world.
Yes. So anyway, the left eye is described as being dug out, and then the cut extended the length of the nose, and it kind of sounds like the nose was pretty much gone.
Oh, and I think I've seen crime scene photos.
I think I have too, and I really kind of block it out. I don't want to remember, but I can be a little bit morbid, and I probably have looked it up.
Laying on the couch. Yeah, I don't like that.
Yeah. That horrible nursery rhyme. I'm not going to sing it. That's not what I'm going to do. I'm going to point out that it's wrong. It's inaccurate. So
excellent. I'm glad. It's very inaccurate, Lizzie. If you're listening, totally hate it, girl. Hate it so much.
And I'm not going to sing it because I think it's really disrespectful. But anyway, so first of all, Abby is not Lizzie's mother. It's her stepmother.
Amen. Abby, not your mom.
Yeah, we got it.
I like that we're looking up.
I know.
Yeah. First of all, like she's listening to us of all people. And second of all, like she's anywhere. Like a physical location we're looking at.
I think it's just our nature.
We're just too nice, Aaron.
It's just our nature, our religious upbringing as well. But anyway, so
super religious. Yes, no, I'm just kidding.
Super religious. Uber.
Super culty. No, I'm just kidding. We were not in a religious cult, FYI.
No.
Also, we didn't grow up together, so that was stupid.
We did not. but it's all right. It's all right to make people think that. So Abby did not receive 40 blows. It was actually 19. And Andrew,
considerably less.
And Andrew, it was 11, apparently. So,
wow, interesting that she got more.
Yeah.
Whoever did it.
Yeah, whoever did it. Yes.
As it is currently unsolved.
So here's the thing that, I don't know, tell me what you think about this headline. The headline in one of the papers is, "Venerable Citizen and His Aged Wife."
That's just rude.
Why is she...
First of all, he's venerable and she's aged.
She's aged. So...
why couldn't it have just been venerable old man and wife?
I don't know. Interesting. And then it actually says in the headline, "Hacked to pieces in their home."
No,
they really liked this word "hacked" because it appears many times in the description of this, which I just can't.
Hatchet. I guess I could see where
it's
we're
just so insensitive. I don't know. It's just so insensitive. So as I told you, Andrew's face was just
Mutilated.
It was not recognizable. And they theorized that Abby had been killed by a tall man. I don't know why they think he was
It's so
tall. A
specific.
tall man who struck her from behind. That was the theory. Now, I also want to mention this. So, the Borden home was a very busy place the morning of August 4th, even though it seems that no one saw anybody coming in or out. But I mentioned that they had a guest overnight. So they had John Morse.
Oh, yeah.
So they had John Morse who was there, and then he left at breakfast. Andrew goes and runs all these errands. It's like he lived like a full day before he's murdered. So like a lot is going on.
So wait a second. Did John Morse like leave permanently, or did he leave to go on an outing and then intending?
He left permanently. He was going home. Yeah, yeah, he was going. Yeah, he left permanently.
Interesting. On the day he chooses to leave.
And I also want to say that Emma conveniently is not there. Emma's away in Fairhaven. Fairhaven's not that far away, but Emma is conveniently away when this happens. Okay.
Yeah, but was she gone before?
I don't really know, but Emma was not home.
Huh.
But Fairhaven is really not that far away from here. But and then so the neighbors come in, and then also supposedly a Portuguese immigrant who was owed wages by Andrew, also visited. So before Andrew was brutally murdered, he has breakfast with John Morse. A Portuguese immigrant comes in and says, "I need my wages," and Andrew says, "No, come back later." And then Andrew goes and runs errands. So like, there's a lot of activity in the morning. So I don't know. Of course, they try to blame it on the Portuguese immigrant, who it never goes anywhere.
That's just rude.
Yeah, they try to automatically. Well, first of all, it must have been a man, and it must have been somebody foreign. Is what
That's rude.
Is what people seem to want to believe. Well, anyways, 2 days later, the paper reports that Lizzie may have had something to do with the murders, and the town is just shocked. This is like the original OJ case.
Televised.
Yes, it's televised.
In 1892.
Just in terms of the fact that it's so high profile that everybody's talking about it, and that the both the prosecution and the defense team are like rock star lawyers. So it's just huge. So everybody's just kind of waiting to see what's going to happen.
What is it? If the glove don't fit, you must acquit.
The glove doesn't fit, you must acquit. I can't come up with I can't come up with anything clever about the hatchet.
I just don't want to.
And I'm not going to try. I'm not going to try.
Yeah, no.
But anyways, another piece of incriminating evidence, or at least circumstantially, is a druggist at the drugstore named Eli Bentz. He tells police that Lizzie tried to get prussic acid, otherwise known as cyanide, the day before the murders. And Eli says, "Well, what you need that for?" And she says that she has a sealskin cape that has become ridden with moths, and she must therefore clean it. And Eli says,
cyanide.
Yes, with cyanide. I don't know if that was a thing. I have no idea. I don't know any.
Like this needs to be Googled.
Yeah, I'm not an apothecary. I don't.
You should be.
And Eli refuses to sell her this because there's no prescription. And I go, "Why is there a prescription for cyanide? Like,
yeah, that shouldn't be a thing."
Was there? I mean, really, a prescription for cyanide? I don't know. And what are you coming up with there?
Okay, so it actually. Okay, so bitter almonds used to be used to clean sealskin, but not prussic acid.
Okay, so that's bizarre, right?
Well, that's what the prosecution was trying to show, that the prussic acid was supposed, or the defense was saying it was supposed to be used for a sealskin coat, and the prosecution was like, "No, that's not what you use that for."
Gotcha.
Kind of thing. Yeah.
So, anyways, I will continue. Here's what I think. I think that the quote media of the time and kind of the public opinion, I think it's huge here, and I think that it might have a lot to do with the outcome because we know Lizzie is acquitted of everything. But the Boston Daily Globe.
So did most people think she wasn't?
I don't know.
I'm going to be split.
I'm going to be honest, I don't know. All I can tell you is the two major newspapers, the Boston Daily Globe, like to favor that Lizzie and Abby didn't get along. So they were kind of pushing that, which does establish a motive. But then the Boston Herald was like, no, nobody of this social standing and such a great moral character could possibly have done this. So you've got the two major papers there on opposing sides. Police are puzzled because there's a lack of blood at the scene. Lizzie is not full of blood, so...
What? Oh, you mean like there wasn't much like splatter?
I guess not.
Oh, interesting.
I guess not.
Huh. Okay.
Or maybe I'm not really reporting it correctly, but let's put it this way. If Lizzie would have done it, what they're saying is there's
There
no
should have been
there's
blood
no blood
somewhere.
on her.
Yeah.
Anyways, and there's also not a clear murder weapon. So they do find 4 hatchets in the basement. However,
Why so many
yeah,
hatchets?
why so many? And one of them does have blood and hair, but they determined that it's from a cow.
That's your cow killing hatchet.
Right.
That's why you need multiple
Well, yeah,
hatchets.
the pigeon killing one was separate, of
You've
course.
got to have your pigeon killing and your cow killing
Yeah.
hatchets separated.
Yes, as
They're different sizes, different
as
materials.
one
I'm making all this up, by the way. There are not
as
animal
one does.
specific hatchets.
I don't know. I was with you on that. Maybe,
No, of course you were, Pennsylvania.
I was. I mean, I don't know. I feel that any hatchet or any axe in a home is always going to lead to trouble, but that's just me. So, anyways,
Good to know.
they don't establish that there's any clear murder weapon, and then they do find one that has a broken handle, and they kind of go, well, it's probably this.
Like a busted handle where you wouldn't really be able to swing it, or just like kind of like
it's broken because they were broken from the force of using it. I don't know.
Huh. Interesting.
I don't know, but that is what they decide to say. We're going to go with this. We think it's this one. So Lizzie's whereabouts are questionable because she claims to be different places depending on who she's talking to. So at one point, when she's accounting for, and it's a very small window of time, so it's like a 15-20 minute window of when Andrew arrived home. So if Andrew arrived home at 10:45 and then a half hour later he's dead, that's a very small window of time. So they're asking, well, where were you? So at one point she says, I was upstairs putting shams on pillows. It's a lot of friggin' pillows.
A lot of pillows.
20 minutes worth
of how many bedrooms are
yeah,
in this
20
house?
minutes
There could be a lot
worth
of
of putting shams on pillows. I don't even own a sham.
You have to own a sham.
Maybe I do, but I don't.
Have you ever bought like a bed in a bag?
I have, but I don't use the shams.
Yeah, but there are always shams, which means you own them. You just don't sham your pillows.
All right, I own them, but do you think it would take me 20 minutes to put
No, but we don't have like 5 bedrooms.
No, we do not. All right. Point taken. But anyway,
just saying, Lizzie, I'm on your side, girl.
Yeah, well, anyway, so that was one thing she claimed, that she was putting shams on pillows. Then she also said, well, no, I was outside acquiring sinkers for fishing poles for an upcoming trip, so a trip that was not going to happen for several days.
Be prepared, Girl Scout way.
And one of the contradictory things about this is they're saying, well, it's really, really hot, and it would be very unpleasant to spend any length of time outside in the barn at that point, and also that it was really dusty and there were no footprints. And I'm like, I don't know. I mean, I don't know that really holds much weight, but
that holds no weight.
But the point is, how is she both upstairs and also outside? I don't know. But anyway, and there's also a leading physician quote said that in the event that it was Lizzie or said woman who was hacking somebody to bits, that surely that woman would have had to have been unconscious of what they were doing. They must have been in a fugue state, because no woman is going to do something like this.
I mean, I wouldn't do that to my parents, but I have thought about it. Not about my parents, but about hatcheting other people. I don't know if I'd pick hatchets, though. I think I would pick a different mode, but I've thought about it.
Well, swinging a hatchet is...
That's personal, man.
Well, and the thing is, if you don't land it right, you might F up yourself. You know what I mean? Like, you want to make sure that if you're gonna yield that hatchet, you got to be damn sure that you're gonna land the blow the right way, because you could all kinds of mess that up. So I don't think that that'd be what I would use. I'd use something I was a little more confident that I was gonna land it the way I needed to land it. Yeah, I don't think I would. I'm not that strong. Let's put it that way. I think you got to be pretty strong to enact that kind of force with a hatchet, and you got to be pretty pissed off too. Anyway, when she's questioned on August 9th, which is 5 days after the murder, she gave, like I said, conflicting details. She is arrested on August 11th, a week later. She pleads not guilty. And then on August 22nd, she re-enters the Fall River courtroom for a preliminary hearing. And the judge says she's probably guilty.
That's problematic, sir.
Yeah.
You just created an entire jury pool that's now biased because
Well,
the judge said she's probably guilty.
it was a simpler time. And the judge says, yes, she shall stand before a grand jury in November. So she does. And the first, the jury was not going to indict her, but then they hear a new piece of evidence from a Miss Alice Russell, a friend of Lizzie and Emma's, who stayed with the Bordens a few days following the murders. And Alice Russell.
Oh, after the murders?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
So Alice Russell claims to have witnessed Lizzie burning a blue dress.
Who's going to visit someone after their parents die?
Well, I don't know. I mean,
maybe it was a plan.
Maybe it was just a moral support kind of thing. I don't know.
Oh wow. So blue dress.
Times were different. Yeah. And then of course Bridget Sullivan, Bridget aka Maggie, confirms that Lizzie was wearing a blue dress the day of the murder.
Oh.
Yeah.
Lizzie.
So the sisters decide, you're dead to us, Alice, and they're not friends with Alice Russell.
Hey, I don't blame them.
Yeah.
Close ranks.
They're like, Alice is no friend of ours anymore. So, okay. The indictment was actually brought down on December 2nd, and the trial was then scheduled for June of 1893. I also want to mention that, oddly, at the time, there was a similar axe murder, but that wouldn't hold much weight because apparently whoever committed the similar axe murder at the time was found to be out of the country. However, odd that there was also an axe murder nearby.
It must have happened after.
Yeah, I don't know, but
because how was he out of the country?
I know. How's he getting out of the country so freely?
After he murdered people with an axe.
Yeah, so the trial begins on June 5th, 1893, and Lizzie stands before a panel of 3 judges. The prosecution is District Attorney Knowlton and Thomas Moody, and the defense team consists of former Massachusetts Governor George D. Robinson and Andrew Jennings. So, again, I hate to liken it to the OJ trial, but it kind of sounds like kind of the premier, lawyers of the time, people who were impressive. So it was like when the papers would report on this, they would say, and a fine job done by both sides. But
gotcha.
Yeah, so apparently it was kind of one of those things like people like to watch. They like to watch the show, regardless of what side you were on. It was just they like watching these attorneys. And Thomas Moody sounds to me like someone who has a flair for the dramatic, because he opens up with what I would call a stunt, and he acts like he's all casual, and he throws down a frock supposedly worn by Lizzie, and also with that are the skulls of Andrew and Abby.
Why were those allowed in the courtroom?
I don't know, and why were they? Well, I don't know. I really don't know.
That just seems like that shouldn't have been allowed.
Well, yeah, it does, and then of course,
like red flag number 1002.
Yeah. So of course Lizzie faints.
Of course.
She faints, and it's several minutes before she recovers, and of course the courtroom just goes wild.
But Moody, who wouldn't?
Yeah, I mean, I can't imagine that. That's not anything I would want to see. So Moody went on for a couple of hours about how Lizzie was the only person who had the motive and the opportunity for the crime, and he also used what the alleged weapon of the axe that had the broken handle. The thing is, it sounds like Moody was, again, he was a great orator, but he fails to provide an alternative, which I think is one of the ways in which the prosecution went wrong. They don't provide any other suspect. There's no other theory. It's just, by God, it has to be Lizzie, and this is why. And I think that's probably one of the ways in which they went wrong.
Well, the prosecution has the burden of proof, so they have to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that Lizzie did it, so they can't offer up any other suspects. That's what the defense has to do.
I'm sorry.
I'm talking like I'm a lawyer.
No, you know what? I knew that didn't sound right.
I've listened to and watched a lot of shit.
No, I wonder. I wrote that down absolutely incorrectly.
But man, did I sound smart.
No, you didn't. I sounded like a freaking idiot. You're right.
No, you didn't sound like an idiot.
No, but you're right.
I wasn't trying to be that person.
No, you're right.
But I just want to be like, I'm essentially a lawyer now. I take it too far.
No, you're absolutely right. But anyways, so he goes on for hours about how Lizzie's the only person that has, the motive and the opportunity, whatever, whatnot. So, some witnesses. So there's a witness named Hannah Gifford, and she basically says that she had done some garments for Lizzie a couple months before, and Lizzie basically complains about Abby and says, I can't stand Abby, she's good for nothing, I don't really have much to do with her, I keep to myself, I stay in my room. But Bridget Sullivan gets on the stand and then says, oh, I don't know what you're talking about, everything's fine, they get along just great. um, so there's conflicting reports
So
there.
there's contradictions all over the place.
Yeah, there's kind
Okay.
of, yeah. Um, and this is something that I find a bit interesting. So there's a guy named Dr. Seabury Bowen, and he's the family
Yes.
physician.
Talk about a name.
Yeah, Dr. Seabury Bowen.
It sounds made up.
Yeah, it does sound. So he's a family physician that Lizzie summons the morning of August 4th. Um, Here's the thing, he was there for the duration. It seemed like he kind of hung around a lot. And he also prescribes Lizzie morphine, and I believe that he saw someone out on the street that was like a known medical examiner, and Dr. Bowen says, hey, come on in and examine the body.
How many times are you walking down the street and you see a medical
I
examiner?
don't know. Like, that was really weird to me. And
How do you know someone's a medical examiner?
I know. See, I thought that
You're
was
just like you with the blue shirt. You're definitely a medical examiner.
yes, I thought that was a little bit weird that, like, conveniently, like, this Dr. Bowen goes, hey, hi, come on in and examine this body. So I thought that was weird. Um, but Seabury basically said, well, the reason Lizzie gave those weird conflicting accounts is because I prescribed her morphine, and that's probably why she was confused. So, whatever. Well, Adelaide Churchill, the one who found Abby's body,
The creep.
um, she basically says, I can attest to the fact that Lizzie was wearing the blue dress. I did not see any blood on her dress. And then John Fleet, who was, I believe, the first marshal to arrive in the scene. One thing he does say is he remembers Lizzie correcting him vehemently when he refers to Abby as her mother, and Lizzie replied, she's my stepmother, my mother died when I was a child. But again, I mean, that in and of itself,
Some people are particular.
yeah, that in and of itself doesn't really speak to guilt, I don't think.
No.
But Alice Russell's testimony is pretty compelling. And here's a couple of reasons why. So, the day before the murders, Lizzie had a conversation with Alice, and she told Alice that she was planning to go away for a while. And she also mentioned that the Bordens had that weird stomach thing, weird stomach illness. And she also said she was worried that something bad might happen to Father because he's so disagreeable all the time. Yeah, so odd that she says this and then something in fact does happen to him.
It's almost as if she knew about it.
Yeah. And Russell maintains that Lizzie said she was going to burn the dress because it had paint on it.
I mean, what are you painting, girl?
Yeah, what are you painting? Well, the defense makes a good point and comes back and says, well, somebody who wants to get rid of evidence is not going to be so obvious about it.
That's not true.
And I don't know because I don't think that way. But anyways, the defense says no, she's being entirely too obvious about it. That wouldn't happen. I don't know. And then remember how back when Andrew's body is discovered, it didn't seem like anyone was looking for Abby. You might have wondered, like, why wasn't Lizzie like, oh my God, where's Abby? So Lizzie claimed that a messenger had dropped off a note that was summoning Abby to go visit a sick friend. So Lizzie just assumed that Abby had left the home, and that's why she didn't look for Abby. I know.
What about to tell Abby?
Yeah, no, right. No note was found.
And her husband just died.
Yeah, no note was found. Yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, that was weird. Okay, so the paper does report that it felt that the defense actually ended up using the prosecution's witnesses better than the prosecution did. So the defense only called a couple of witnesses.
Nice.
Yeah, and the prosecution had all these witnesses, and what ended up happening is the defense went on cross-examination, just kept poking holes in everything that they said. So yeah, I guess the point I was trying to make when I got it backwards before was I don't think the prosecution, they just weren't they didn't anticipate that their witnesses were going to be easily contradicted. Maybe they didn't prep them well. I don't know, but it really does seem like the defense was like, yeah, I know, but it could also be this.
Yeah.
I don't want to start repeating myself. So, okay, anyways, the prosecution rests its case on June 14th. And a final blow to the prosecution is that the jury didn't even get to hear about Eli Bunce's testimony that Lizzie was trying to buy poison. So that's like inadmissible.
Why?
I don't know.
It should have been admissible.
Yeah, I honestly do not know why. So
not that had any bearing, Lizzie. I know you're innocent.
Yeah, but yeah, so they don't even get to hear about that. And where am I going with this? Blah blah blah.
I'm gonna make a T-shirt that says "Free Lizzie."
Free Lizzie.
Why
are you sucking up? Why are you sucking up? Are you afraid she's gonna haunt us?
I don't want bad juju in and around my person. I don't want bad juju. So I'm just throwing it out there. Lizzie, you were acquitted. Yeah. Technically, that's true.
Right. So the actual day of the acquittal is June 20th, and the jury deliberates for like an hour and a half. And Lizzie at that point,
wow, that was quick.
Yeah, it is. It is quick. Some people think that they even only took an hour and a half just to make it look good, because really they were like, "Oh, I forgot to mention this." So before the jury goes in to deliberate, one of the judges says, or Justice Dewey, I think it is. I think it's his name, and he says, "I want to remind you that it's foolish to convict on circumstantial evidence only, and let me remind you what an upstanding citizen that Lizzie is."
Huh.
I know. Isn't it weird? Yeah, I don't know.
Interesting.
Yeah. But meanwhile, before Lizzie was indicted, that judge was like, yeah, she probably did it. So I don't know. She's got money, so who knows? I mean, people could have been paid off. I really don't know. But anyway, so after she's acquitted, she lives the life. I mean, she's ostracized apparently from Fall River society. However, she goes on to purchase a home. Her and Emma move into the home, and they name it Maplecroft. Doesn't that sound delightful?
It sounds delightfully spooky, but
Maplecroft.
It sounds delightfully spooky, but also I want a house with a name.
Yes.
And my house is not name worthy. My house,
Satan's lair. I don't know.
Okay, let's not name my house Satan's lair.
Anyways,
no.
So okay, so they settle into Maplecroft and they're living the life, and they've got, they've got all the amenities that they need. And Lizzie becomes friends with some actors and some bohemian types, and she's just kind of having fun and having parties.
I love the word bohemian.
I know. And I don't even know what a bohemian would look like at that time, but what I will tell you is Emma apparently did not like Lizzie's new friends. And
new friends.
And Lizzie threw a party for an actress named Nance O'Neill, and apparently Emma and Lizzie argue at that party, and Emma moves out. This is 1905, and they don't talk ever again.
Okay, now that's weird.
So Lizzie doesn't. So they both die in the same year. They both die in 1927.
But they aren't speaking.
Apparently, they don't speak ever again.
Huh.
And Emma, when
what the hell happened in that argument?
I don't know. When Emma dies in a nursing home in, I want to say, New Hampshire. And but they are buried at the family plot at Oak Grove. So I think it's Oak Grove. So they are buried side by side. But yeah, so they never speak again after all that. So I wonder what happened. What happened. Is Emma just like, you know what? She probably is guilty, and I'm kind of sick and tired of this. And
yeah,
I don't know.
So weird.
I really don't know. But yeah, so the Lizzie Borden house, which, as we have found out, you apparently can actually go and spend the night in.
Okay, talk about bad juju.
Yeah, I was in Massachusetts a couple months ago, and I didn't even realize that would have been an option. I think I might have tried to do it. I'm really brave when I don't have to actually back up what I say, so I don't know.
I'll talk.
Yeah, but it like, I'm like, that sounds really cool, but then again,
listen,
I don't know.
I would walk in there. I would not sleep in there. You can sleep in the room where Abby was murdered.
Yeah, I think for me,
like, you can sleep in the exact position where she was found.
I don't think to be honest, I don't think I'd make it through the whole night in the house.
No,
I really don't. I could go in, I could visit. I don't really think I could make it through a whole night in the house. I think eventually I'd come to my senses and go, I can't do this. Because
I also just think it's super disrespectful. Like, I know you can't expect that you can avoid ever being in the same place where a dead body is or was.
Yeah, but when you willingly decide
Yeah.
you're going to do it, I do think you're kind of
Intention is a thing.
you're kind of tempting fate a bit there. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Wow, that's pretty cool. I mean, that's an interesting. No one thinks about Lizzie after the trial.
No, and apparently, bratty kids used to come around and used to sing the nursery rhyme to her. Yeah, so
Why would they do
well, because
that?
kids are brats.
No, Aaron. If you thought she actually murdered people with a hatchet, why would you mock her?
Because kids are dumb.
Like straight up, that's the best. That's the only thing we can say. Kids just have they don't understand consequences.
I hear you. There's no way in hell I'd be mocking somebody that I thought was guilty.
No, I would have been the one kid that was like, guys, are you even thinking she will come and murder us with a hatchet? And even if I did, if I was Lizzie Borden, right? And let's say whether or not I did it is not important because I'm acquitted. So I'm innocent. And those little shit kids kept singing, you know what I would do? I would get an axe and I would just hang out in my front yard with my axe. You know, people would not mess with you.
No, I know.
If they sang a nursery rhyme about you hacking up people,
yeah,
and then you chilled in your front yard with a hatchet, oh my god. Those kids would shit themselves.
Yeah. How shitty though is it if she really didn't do it? You know what I mean? Like I mean it looks like she did, but I mean if she didn't and that was happening, yeah, that's just I don't know.
Sorry to keep yawning. It's late, and by late I mean it's 8:30. I'm just tired for some reason.
No, I'm tired. I'm tired
but
too.
No, Lizzie Borden is fascinating. I like that we focused on what happened after the trial. That's pretty cool. And there's some things that I learned that I didn't know about Lizzie Borden, which is just
What did you learn that you didn't know? I'm being serious.
I didn't know about the prussic acid thing.
Oh,
I
really?
didn't know that she bought poison beforehand. I thought that was a rumor.
Oh.
I didn't think that was a thing that I didn't know there was a witness.
Yeah.
I also didn't know about what happened after the trial. That mostly had never heard about. I also didn't actually know that she was acquitted.
Mm-hmm.
To be honest. So pretty much what I'm telling you is I barely knew anything about Lizzie Borden.
I don't think any of us really do. And I remember a number of years ago that they were doing a forensic investigation, which how the hell can they do that? Where they went to the house and then tried to use luminol and they found blood in other places. So so there's been like re-investigations from some, from some teams.
How reliable is that if it's been over 100 years?
Oh, I know. It can't possibly be. But I mean, it's just one of those things. It's like, why are we still so fascinated with it? But again, I think I think it's just one of those things that people are going to have an opinion. She does look guilty, but I can see why she was acquitted. Yeah, I really can, because it was circumstantial. And then I would think I'd be kind of surprised too. Why wasn't she covered in blood?
Yeah, that's interesting.
That's what's puzzling to me, because the timeline is very, very short. It's very, very short. So if Andrew Borden is home at 10:45 and at 11:15, how does she clean up? I mean, really, how does she clean herself up?
But how certain is Bridget that he arrived at 10:45?
She's pretty certain.
Okay. I'm just saying, it's not like... I
know.
I don't know. She might have had a watch on.
But maybe. I also heard that Bridget...
Is that a stupid question to be like, she might have had a watch on?
No.
Okay.
No. But I also heard, I don't know what source, so most of my information came from a Murderpedia, and then which I love, and then a Smithsonian Magazine article. But I also heard that Bridget confessed, on her deathbed, that she lied on the stand, that she lied.
Oh yeah.
That she lied and said, "No, I used to hear arguing all the time between the Bordens. I just lied on the stand and said, that they got along." And then if you ever watch any of the dramatizations, it makes it look like Bridget was pretty much bullied. You know what I mean? Yeah. It really does.
And then some of them, it makes it out to seem like she was protecting Lizzie, with just a weird perspective. Mm-hmm. But anyway.
Yeah, and I don't know, and I don't remember if Lizzie and Bridget kept in touch. I can't remember, if Bridget leaves, I don't even know. I don't know what that relationship was. Did it end immediately?
Yeah.
Afterwards? But yeah, I would love to know what the argument was between Lizzie and Emma.
Yeah. That's for real.
But did you ever see that creepy Christina Ricci version?
Yeah,
Where
Christina Ricci is creepy.
But do you remember her whispering? Do you remember the scene where she whispers in her sister's ear?
Oh yeah, I don't like that.
And kind of like you get the point of what's she doing, saying, "I did it." That was probably truly one of the creepiest scenes in a movie I have ever seen in my life. I mean, it just gave me chills.
Yeah.
So
That's for real.
I kind of think that maybe Emma was like, "Yeah, I gotta wash my hands of this. You want to be guilty? That's fine. That's cool. But I'm going away. I'm getting out of here." So, but yeah,
I just can't believe she wouldn't have known. But it is what it is, I guess.
I can't believe it either. But
that was awesome, Lizzie Borden. Great storytelling, my friend.
Yeah, until I basically inaccurately describe what a prosecutor does.
No, you did not Oh my god, now I feel like an asshole.
No, you're right. I had it written down, and I'm like, that doesn't sound right. I'm like, because remember I was parsing together my notes. Remember how I was like furiously, and I'm like copying and pasting, putting things together, and I'm reading that, and I'm like, I don't think that's right, but I'm going to keep saying it. Yes. That's not right at all.
No, I'm totally down. Just fake it till you make it, girl. So do you want to tell us about the next episode?
Oh, is that the...
That's the...
is that the Madame Lalaurie?
Yeah.
Yes, so I will be presenting some information on... I didn't really know much about Madame Lalaurie until American Horror Story, if I'm being honest with you. I really didn't. And a fascinating character. I mean, I don't want to like give props to somebody who did horrific things, but she's a fascinating character.
No, I understand. This is a safe space, Aaron. We understand that spooky shit is spooky shit.
And New Orleans is, if not anything else, it's a cool freaking place for ghost stories.
Yeah.
When I went to New Orleans, my favorite thing was the ghost tour that I did. So like, it's a cool freaking place for hauntings. So that's going to be our next episode.
I'm pumped about it.
I'm pumped too.
So anyway, friends, I guess if you want to share some scary stories with us or tell us how awesome we are, which I'm totally okay with that as well, because Mom, I know you're the only one listening.
My mom's probably listening.
You could tell me how wonderful I am.
My mom was all concerned. She's like, "Now I don't have an iPhone, and if it's on the iTunes, I don't know that I can get it." And she's like,
"The iTunes."
Yeah, but she's like, "But wait a minute, though. I do have an iPad, but I'm going to figure this out." So my mom is definitely...
She can listen to podcasts on the iPad.
I know.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. She and I have already established that.
Excellent.
But yeah, she will listen as long as she can get access.
Well, anyway, if you want to talk to us about anything, send us suggestions. Maybe not super critiques. We are sensitive creatures. Anyway, email us at 31nightsofscaryshit@gmail.com. 31 like the number. nightsofscaryshit@gmail.com. Yeah. And Aaron, take us away.
All right, my friends, stay spooky. Thanks for listening.